This is the full body scan. Taking a moment now to start to settle into a comfortable position and to also congratulate yourself for setting aside the time during your day to do this body scan practice. Arriving can sometimes be difficult, but you are making the effort to be here right now. Taking the time during this intro to start to settle into your posture. You may choose to lie down, sit in a chair, or even stand during your practice. During our practice, we'll be promoting wakefulness, bringing acute attention to our practice. If you feel you may have a tendency to drift or fall asleep, then maybe choosing a position to best support your practice at this time. In the body scan, we will systematically bring attention to the different areas of the body, being receptive and curious to any sensations that may be present. We'll begin in the left foot and move through each area until reaching the top of the head. We're spending time in each region of the body, allowing sensation to be our primary focus, and in this way, cultivating awareness of what's here now, establishing this deeper connection with our body. In this practice, we're not striving to get anywhere, and we're not trying to achieve any particular state. To the best of our ability, we are accepting things as they are in this moment, and releasing any sense of self-judgment that may arise as we cultivate kind, compassionate awareness for ourselves. During this practice, the mind may want to wander, and when we notice that it does, we simply bring it back to the body, focusing on whatever area of the body scan we have moved on to. Doing this over and over again if necessary, naturally conditioning our attention and always being kind to ourselves during the process. Remember that throughout this mindfulness practice, you are always in control. If you find that you encounter challenging situations or sensations or thoughts associated with a certain part of the body, you can shift your attention to another area of the body that feels more comfortable and workable. You can shift or move your body position if encountering challenges. You can put your attention in a different area of the body. And there may be areas of the body that you prefer not to attend to at all, and allowing for this. Always knowing you are in control throughout this practice and that this guided meditation is simply offering suggestions for your practice. Now as we begin, we start by getting a sense of the whole body. Feeling the body as a whole from head to toe. Maybe noticing the space that the body occupies in whatever position you are practicing in. Maybe feeling the body making contact with the floor or the chair underneath you. The legs, the back, the sit bones. Wherever there's contact being made. The pull of gravity on your body as it assists us in settling and relaxing deeper into our position. You may even notice the impact of each breath while staying focused on the body. Easing into this practice, into this shift from doing to simply being. Offering kind and gentle attention to the body moment by moment. Just allowing the body to be just as it is, not needing to change anything. Just noting sensations as they arise. Now, when you feel ready, gathering our attention and drifting down through the body, down through the left leg, Bringing your attention to rest in the left foot. Approaching the left foot with curiosity and feeling into this area. The heel, the arch, the side, the padding below the toes, between the toes, and then to the toes themselves. Just opening to any sensations that can be felt here. There might be this detection of temperature, tingling sensations, the feeling of socks or shoes against the skin. The pressure of the floor against the bottom or the heel of the foot. Maybe no sensation at all. But being aware of what's known and present in this moment. Maybe feeling into the skin, the muscles, and the bones of the feet. Sensing deeply in. Now to the tops of the feet. And drifting up into the left ankle. Circling the ankles, the bone, the whole joint, the tendons. Putting all of our focus into the left ankle. Starting to move upward and putting our attention on the lower part of the leg. Just noticing what's here in this part of the body. Maybe aware of the long bone, the shin, maybe sensing into the meaty part of the calf. Just sensing and feeling. Fully present. Now guiding attention to the left knee and exploring this whole area. The front, the back, the sides of the knee, the kneecap, Simply feeling into the knee. When you find that attention has wandered and that you've become caught up in thinking or have shifted to some other distraction, noting this and gently guiding attention back to the knee, just opening to any sensation that might be felt here. Guiding our attention now to the area of the thigh. Moving up into the left thigh. Noticing the muscles here in this large area of the leg. What sensations might you detect? Just scanning from the knee to the hip. And moving attention now to the left hip. So exploring and investigating this area of the hip joint. Feeling into the left hip. Perhaps aware of sensations. If there's any tightness, tenderness, stiffness, achiness, perhaps even feelings of flexibility and ease. On your next exhale, we let go of focusing on the left hip. Allow our attention to drift across the pelvic region, over to the right leg, down the right leg, until you reach the bottom of the right foot. Landing our attention in the bottom of the right foot. Gathering our attention and focus on this area. Feeling into the heel. The arch. The side. The padding below the toes. Between the toes. Into the toes themselves. opening to any sensations that can be felt here. Noticing temperature, dryness or moisture. Being aware of what's known and present in this moment. Seeing if we can feel into the muscles and the bones of the right foot. Now moving up to the tops of the feet. And drifting up into the right ankle. And with our attention just circling the ankle, feeling into this joint, the bones, the tendons. Moving attention now from the ankle up to the shin and calves in the lower part of the leg. Just noticing what's here right now. Guiding attention up to the right knee. Feeling into the knee, to the different areas. Maybe even noticing the bend or the position of the knee. Whether it's in a bent position if you're sitting or possibly in a straight position if you're lying down. And when you find that your attention has begun to wander, just coming back to the practice, returning back to the right knee. And guiding our attention now to the area of the thigh. Feeling into the muscles and the bone. Maybe noticing contact points with the back of the thigh, whether it's a chair or the floor. What sensations might you detect? Moving attention now to the right hip. Exploring and investigating the right hip joint. Feeling into the hip. And just approaching with this sense of curiosity. Just noticing sensations, tightness, flexibility, ease, whatever's here. The next exhalation, letting go of the right hip. And then broadening our awareness so we're holding the entire lower body. Holding both legs from the hips to the toes. Holding the entire lower body in our awareness. Simply noticing the variety of sensations in the lower body. Maybe even noticing differences between the left and the right leg. And releasing the lower body. And bringing our attention now to rest in the pelvic region. Noticing maybe the pelvic bowl, the sit bones, the subtle inner muscles. Maybe noticing reproductive and elimination areas. The lower intestines. Just sensing into all these different areas of the lower body. Sensing into the pelvic region. Transitioning now and moving our attention up the spine, starting at our tailbone. Moving our attention to the tailbone and slowly moving up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Slowly moving up the spine. And then sensing into the lower back. Feeling into the muscles and any sensations here. The back can often be an area where we hold a lot of tension or may have been injured in the past. So just noticing this. Noticing how our lower back, our muscles, spine feel in this moment. Not trying to change anything, but just observing. And moving up the spine to the middle part of the back. Maybe noticing the rib cage and the muscles. And then drifting to the upper back. Noticing the width of the upper back, the shoulder blades, the muscles, and drifting up and into the muscles on top of the shoulders, just below the neck. This is another area where many of us hold tension. Just moving up and bringing attention to the top of the shoulders. Maybe noticing if the shoulders feel hunched or if they feel relaxed. Are there signs of stress or tension in the body at the shoulders and lower neck? And maybe even on your next exhale, allowing your shoulders to let go and even drop slightly. Just releasing and dropping any tension that might be in this area. Just feeling into this area without trying to figure out why it might be feeling this way. Releasing the back and upper shoulders. And moving our attention now to the front of the body. Drifting down into the lower abdomen, into the belly. Just sensing into the belly. Moving up to the diaphragm in the lower rib cage area. And into the chest. Maybe noticing the rib cage expanding, the lungs expanding, your heartbeat. Maybe feeling into the chest and making note of what's present. And if you recognize that you're caught up in thinking, then just guiding your attention back to the torso, back to the chest, and just opening to any sensations. Now moving our attention up over to the left arm, to the left shoulder, starting in the side of the left shoulder. Now just drifting down the left arm, just scanning through the arm to the bicep area, down to the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, the back of the hand, the palm, and then down into the fingertips. Just noticing any sensation that may be present in the left hand and the fingertips. Beginning to scan up the arm as we move back to the wrist, the forearm, to the left elbow, and all the way up to the top of the left shoulder. Drifting across the chest and the top of the shoulders over to the right arm. Moving attention now as we start to move down the right arm, starting in the side of the shoulder, down the bicep area, down to the elbow, the forearm, the right wrist, the back of the hand, the palm, and down into the fingertips. The hands and the fingertips can sometimes have a lot of sensation due to so many nerve endings, so just feeling into them. Beginning to scan up the arm as we move back to the wrist, the forearm, elbow, and all the way up to the top of the right shoulder. Now bringing our attention to the area of the neck, feeling into the muscles of the neck. These muscles work hard for us throughout the day, so just noticing if there's any flexibility or stiffness or discomfort. Just making note. Maybe noticing if the neck has this sensation of wanting to move or stretch. Maybe feeling into the muscles of the throat. And drifting upward now into the base of the skull. Maybe sliding under the ears and moving attention to the jaw. Feeling into the small joints. Maybe noticing if it feels relaxed or clenched. And if you choose, allowing for the jaw to soften and maybe slightly drop in this process of just letting go. Just maybe noticing how this feels. Maybe seeing if other muscles in your head and neck are impacted by the jaw. Moving down the jaw now to the chin. We follow the jaw down to the chin. Moving up to the lips. Moving into the mouth. Noticing the teeth and the tongue. And maybe allowing the tongue to relax and gently sit at the bottom of the mouth. Moving to the cheeks, the cheekbones. Maybe feeling into the areas behind the cheeks and into the sinuses. Drifting into the eyes. Feeling into and around the eyes. The eyebrows. To the forehead. Maybe allowing the forehead muscles to just naturally just drop or melt. Sliding to the temples. Once again, noticing tension areas and just letting go. Muscles above the ears, on the sides of the head, to the back of the head. And drifting upwards and bringing attention now to the crown of the head, the very top of the head. And releasing of the head and now broadening our attention to include the entirety of the body. So experiencing the whole body from head to toe, from inside to out. Just being receptive to all the various sensations that are present. Allowing yourself to just rest in this awareness of the body. Feeling this embodied presence. And as this practice starts to come to a close, just maybe offering to yourself acknowledgement and appreciation for taking the time to do this practice. Setting aside this time to connect more deeply with yourself. To offer yourself this gift of self-care and attention. And now at your own pace, just starting to ease from our practice, coming back to the room, but staying fully present to the best of our ability as we start to move fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Just making sure to take good care as we transition to the next parts of our day.